Like I mentioned with SpaceX, you give a lot of people hope, and a lot of people look up to you. Millions of people look up to you. If we think about young people in high school, maybe in college, what advice would you give to them about if they want to try to do something big in this world, they want to really have a big positive impact? What advice would you give them about their career, maybe about life in general?
Try to be useful. Do things that are useful to your fellow human beings, to the world. It's very hard to be useful. Very hard. Are you contributing more than you consume? Can you try to have a positive net contribution to society? I think that's the thing to aim for. Not to try to be sort of a leader for the sake of being a leader or whatever. A lot of the time, the people you want as leaders are the people who don't want to be leaders. So, if you can live a useful life, that is a good life. A life worth having lived. And like I said, I would encourage people to use the mental tools of physics and apply them broadly in life. They're the best tools.
When you think about education and self-education, what do you recommend? So there's the university, there's self-study, there is hands-on, sort of finding a company or a place or a set of people that do the thing you're passionate about and joining them as early as possible. There's taking a road trip across Europe for a few years and writing some poetry. Which trajectory do you suggest? In terms of learning about how you can become useful, as you mentioned, how you can have the most positive impact.
Well, I'd encourage people to read a lot of books. Just read, basically try to ingest as much information as you can, and try to also just develop a good general knowledge. So you at least have like a rough lay of the land of the knowledge landscape. Try to learn a little bit about a lot of things. Because you might not know what you're really interested in. How would you know what you're really interested in if you at least aren't doing a peripheral exploration broadly of the knowledge landscape? And talk to people from different walks of life and different industries and professions and skills and occupations. Just try,
Okay, what would you do if you were a 25-year-old man?
Well, first, I would love to go back to 25 years. I would do anything to be back to 25 years. I think I would go to China and seeing the market there, and go to America and think about it and go back and come back to Korea. I think opportunity is everywhere. Honestly, when people think about internet is the future, 10 years ago, internet was so good. When nobody believed internet was so good. Now internet is so tough because all the smart people go to internet. So you should go to the off-ground. There are so many opportunities. If you run a restaurant, if you're really interested in running a restaurant in Korea, using IT technology to making sure the restaurant is perfectly unique. If you want to open a barber shop, making sure you use the IT technology and data technology, be the different. It's not only the high tech that works. There are a lot of business if you're using IT better. That'd be fantastic, right? So, Prime Minister said I'm a genius. I don't think I'm a genius, and I would love to be a genius. But when I sit next to Bill Gates, I think I'm a genius. When I speak Chinese, he cannot speak. When I speak English, well, it's not bad. We all have to think opposite. When everybody agree, wait 1 minute, think about it. Is that right? Is there an opportunity when everybody against it? Just wait for 1 minute, think about it. So 25 years old, don't worry. Any mistake is an income, is a wonderful revenue for you. So I tell myself and told my young people, before 20 years old, be a good student. When you do entrepreneur, just learn some experience. Before 30 years old, follow somebody. Go to a small company. Normally in a big company, it is good to learn processing. You are a part of a big machine. But when you go to small company, you learn the passion, you learn the dreams. You learn how to do a lot of things at one time. So before 30 years old, it's not which company you go, it's which boss you follow. It's very important. A good boss teaches you differently. And from 30 to 40 years old, you have to think very clearly when you're working for yourself, if you really want to be an entrepreneur. When you're 40 to 50 years old, you have to do all the things that you are good at. Don't try to jump into the new area. It's too late. You may be successful, but the rate of dying is too big. So 40 to 50, think about how can you focus on things that you are good at. But when you are 50 to 60 years old, work for the young people. Because young people can do better than you. So rely on them, invest on them, making sure they're good. So when you are over 60 years old, spend time for yourself. On the beach, sunshine, right? It's too late for you to change normally. But this is my advice to the young people. 25 years old, make enough mistakes. Don't worry. You fall, you stand up. You fall, you stand up. Enjoy it. 25 years old, enjoy the show.
It's not a poor man's business. You can actually get rich faster in farming than doing something else. You look at it, today we also have fertilizer, which we used to import a lot. Okay, this fertilizer, we have laboratories that will go and test your soil and give you what kind of fertilizer that you need. Whereas right now, as of today, people use the same fertilizer for maize, for rice, for sugar, so they don't actually differentiate, including the type of soil that you have.
So this issue of best practice, why don't you produce a case study or something useful? You've been through that. And let us, other African countries, appreciate how to do it. Because we need to replicate what you have done there in other countries as well. Or you plan to do it all by yourself?
No.
Okay, so you're going to allow other people. So why don't you really let people know, here is how to do it.
That is one of the reasons why when you look at it, I do travel, very often to various areas, where I can give a talk, sometimes inside Nigeria, sometimes outside Nigeria, just tell them that, hey, look, all this is a myth. Nothing is impossible. We can really make it happen. We as Africans, we can actually, the issue is that, first of all, we have to understand that there are, in all the countries in the world, whether it's South Korea, Japan, US, those economies were actually built up by their own indigenous. So if we don't lead in Africa...
Agriculture was the basis of the world of many of these countries. Agriculture was the basis of development of many countries.
Many of these countries.
It's not backward, as people think.
No, it's not backward like
that. But because of time, let us move on a little bit different subjects.
The way it is that when you first start business, your target is to make your first million. Okay, fine, I did that. But after, a year or so, I realized that, look, I have much more than 12, 13 billion, and I said, okay, fine, all these numbers are just written numbers, and one day I went to a bank, at that time there were no restrictions of this, and I wrote a check and cash, $10 million, and I took it home.
For yourself?
For myself, yes.
You cashed $10 million from the bank?
Yes.
And took it?
And put it in the boot of my vehicle, and I went home, and I opened it, and I look at 10 million, I said, okay, fine, now I believe I have money. I know.
So you put this in the bed and slept all night on top of it. You made love to your money.
It was,
no?
it was in the boot of my...